So, just when I was worried I'm not gonna have anything to talk about, I come upon this little sweet article in MS Magazine. Watch what happens when men read abusive tweets to female sports reporters. I wonder what does happen. They explode or something? On the other hand, that at least would be amusing. So, a recently released YouTube video shows how badly women's sport commentators are treated online, and the abuse they face is guaranteed to make you feel uncomfortable at a minimum. So, Miss Bamboo, you begin the article with assuming I'm going to feel uncomfortable at a minimum. Must you have a crystal ball? In the video promoting the hashtag #MoreThanMean, men are instructed to read out loud mean tweets to two journalists, Sarah Spain, a radio host and Sports Illustrated reporter, and Julie DiCaro, an ESPNW reporter and ESPN radio host. Spain and DiCaro had read the messages beforehand. The purpose of the video is to put the men in the uncomfortable position of speaking about the gender-based abuse and to bring light to the harassment women face online. Yeesh. Lady, everyone that posts stuff online gets shit posted at them, okay? Yeah. I'm not gonna play this video because I'm not gonna give them the friggin' coverage. You can check it out. I'm gonna leave the link below. As the article goes on, the first few tweets, mild compared to the later tweets read in the video, were still gendered insults and a far cry from respectful disagreement. Where the hell do you find respectful disagreement in tweets? And they were gendered because, yeah, those reporters were women. If they were men, they'd get called man insults. It's kind of a normal thing, you know. Sarah Spain sounded like a nagging wife today, read one tweet. Oh, the horror. The tweets got only worse from there, and the men became visibly uncomfortable. I wonder how much of it was directed. Before reading one tweet, the male reporter either hesitated and started with, "I'm just reading this," as if to distance himself from what he was about to say. The man began apologizing after particularly nasty tweets. Why? They didn't write them. Or they did. Especially to make this video. Who the hell knows? So anyway, cunt and bitch were thrown around a lot, as was even noted by the men reading the tweets. Several of the tweets were overtly aggressive in nature, expressing their desires for Spain and DiCaro be beaten or killed. One tweet expressed the hope that DiCaro would be Bill Cosby's next victim. That would be classic, finished the tweet. In an opinion piece published by Time, author Soraya Chemali, I don't know, argues that online harassment directed towards women is different from that directed at men, that it tends to be gender-based. Okay. Yeah, cunt and bitch gets thrown around a lot. Guess what? If those two dames were men, they get called dicks and cocks And assholes a lot, even though everyone has a friggin' asshole, but that gets thrown more at guys. Anyway, these things aren't gender based. This isn't some kind of sign of discrimination. You know what all this stuff is? This is simply choosing all the negative variations about the trait that the certain publisher, contributor, journalist, TV host, movie star, anyone that goes public possesses. And that applies really in every region of life. Do you know what happens when I happen to run into a shitty driver who just almost runs into my car or does some stupid maneuver on the road or goes really, really slow like a crippled tortoise? And you know what happens when that person turns out to be a woman? I shout, "You fucking cunt of a driver." It's not because I hate women, I'm a woman. It's because she happens to be a woman, so I use a negative description of one. That's what it's all about. It's called, in many circles, trolling. Especially in the internet circles. That term starts to leak out into everywhere now, but regardless. How can you not get that anyway? Yeah. I'm getting sick of this stupid feminist whining. So, Spain agrees, telling the New York Times, men get mean comments too. Nice that you are noticing. But I think that the context of it is quite different for women. No, it's not. It's not just like, you're an idiot and I'm mad at you for your opinion. Yes, it is. I hate you because you are in a space that I don't want you in. I come to sports to get away from women. Why don't you take your top off and just make me lunch? I really don't think men go to sports to get away from women. If they did, there wouldn't be fucking cheerleaders at football games. And some guys wouldn't watch female volleyball championships, especially the beach volleyball ones. It's not that men want to get away from women. They just don't like commentators that aren't always good at their job or happen to, at a certain point, say things that disagree with them at that moment. I mean, seriously, do you know how many times I actually threw shitty comments at John Oliver for being a dumb dick? And how many all of you have? And how many guys actually throw shit at men commentators when they happen to make some kind of transgression when commenting on sports? I mean, come on, everyone does it. Get over yourself. Actually, I think that's the thing. They want to be special snowflakes, and they do it in this way because, hey, I'm being gender oppressed. They're mean to me because I'm a woman. No, they're not. They're being mean to you because they don't like you for some reason. Either you're shitty at your job, either you said something shitty a particular time, and they're just reacting to it. And I'm pretty sure that you get mean tweets from women that are into sports too. Yeesh. Oh, now we're going into Gamergate. Sports isn't the only space where women face gender-based harassment online. Violent language and threats are prevalent in the gaming space too. In her 2014 book, Hate Crimes in Cyberspace, Law professor Daniel Sitton finds that 70% of women in multiplayer games play as male characters to avoid gender-based abuse. Really? Did you ask them why they choose male characters? Maybe because they like looking at male butts. And women who have advocated for a more inclusive gaming culture, such as Anita Sarkeesian. How I hate that one. Have faced online threats and harassment so severe they've had to cancel public meetings and talks. Yeah? And how many talks or meetings have feminists shut down? I saw them doing a pretty good job attempting to shut down Milo Yiannopoulos' speeches. Luckily, they failed. Harassment online is difficult to prosecute, though, and more often than not, women are told to simply ignore it. In a 2009 paper published in the Michigan Law Review, Sitton found that the internet harassment is routinely dismissed as harmless locker room talk, perpetrators beginningly labeled as juvenile pranksters, and victims called overly sensitive complainers. Yes, they are overly sensitive complainers. And prosecuting think is sick. You're advocating for foot police. DeCaro herself said that she never went to the police in response to the mainly violent tweets directed at her. She had been told that the law enforcement wouldn't be able to do anything. And I hope they wouldn't do anything. Because you know what? Those guys have real crimes to fight. And real cases to investigate. Not go and bully people who happen to not like you. Get over yourself. The video closes with a call to action to all Twitter users. Oh my! A call to action! Let's start a bloody revolution! Someone bring the Molotovs! You'll break your nails on them. You wouldn't say it to their faces, so let's not type it. Lady, if I thought you were bad at what you're doing, I'd tell you you're bad at what you're doing to your face. And I honestly hate this type of whining, both like from the women in the video and like from this. You know, you can see she's an SJW. You can just see it. There. Down closer to the bottom of the screen, the photo of the journalist. Oh, am I not sweet and privileged? Because I'm sure my parents paid for my education and my friggin' journalist degree. So now I'm gonna whine about the oppression of women, which I never experienced, by the way. They need to get a life. And quite frankly, they need to be kicked out of those safe spaces they are actually eternally sitting in, and go out into the real world and face real problems. I just don't know where do you get this kind of thinking. Because I don't have it. And I can't say I grew up in some kind of a survival camp either. Technically, you might say I'm privileged. Because I had a decent childhood and a decent life. But somehow, I don't suffer from shit for brainsia. Anyway, sorry for being a bit rusty, but it's almost 3 a.m. and Friday. See you next time.